So how bad does it really get? And the answer to that is, sadly, it gets very bad indeed. So a narcissist will typically do any and all of the things that I'm going to share with you in a moment, and more, but these are some of the key ones that show up all the time. And they'll do it without a backward glance and without caring one iota how much they're hurting you. Now, the narcissist, whether it's male or female, they have an inexhaustible armoury of weapons that they can and will use against you. So I'm going to cover 14 examples, and these are just the tip of the iceberg. But before I go and cover those, just want to say, please stick with me, because at the end of those, I'm also going to share with you 5 tips on how you can start breaking free and healing from narcissistic abuse. All the videos I make, they are designed to obviously to inform, to give you some information about this process and to share my knowledge, what I've experienced from, my research, from working with people who have been struggling with it, from the many, many thousands of people in my Facebook groups. But I always want to try and give you some tips as well to heal, rather than just plain information. I really want you to try and understand you are not powerless. There's always things you can do, okay? But let's have a look at the 14 typical narcissistic abuse tactics. And as I said, these are not by any stretch of the imagination all of them. If you've been involved with a narcissist, you can probably nod your head to all of these, but you can probably add a whole bunch more of your own. So number 1 is that they will verbally abuse, belittle, or humiliate you. You will all get very familiar with that if you're spending any amount of time with a narcissist and they've dropped the mask off. Number 2 is they will lie to you. And I always say narcissists are pathological liars. They're basically incapable of telling the truth. Even the truth, they'll embellish it with lies just because they're so twisted. Number 3, they can and will steal from you. Now, they might do things like remove or hide, gaslighting tactic, hide your car keys. They might throw out your medications, give away treasured possessions, or take money. I mean, financial abuse is a whole big thing on its own. So these are the type of things they do. And if you suspect them, even if you catch them and can prove it, they will go crazy at you. They will turn it all around on you. They will call you twisted. They will blame you. They will find some way of making it your fault. So even catching them red-handed isn't going to help you. Now, they will also cheat on you, often blatantly and repeatedly, and often they might have several partners on the go at any one time. And the reason they do this is because they have to have lots of different streams of narcissistic supply. So you, if you're living with them or married to them, you're what is known as the primary source of supply, but they will have secondary sources. And quite often, not often, always when a narcissist discards you, they will have a new primary source of fuel lined up, because they have to have it. It's their lifeblood. They can't survive without it, okay? So number 5 is that they will often go as far as to taunt you with their affairs and stories, and they might tell you how amazing their new lover is in bed, or how generous they are, or how they are better than you in so many ways. So it's not enough that they're actually cheating on you, that you know about it. They now have to rub your face in it and make you feel inadequate in every way they possibly can. I mean, come on, who does this? Nasty, nasty people. Narcissists do it. Now, another thing they'll do is they'll slander you. And usually this will happen, it can happen early on, or it can happen during the smear campaigns. They'll slander you to your family, your friends, your work colleagues. And generally, as I've said, that will be during a smear campaign. And I've got a video up, I think, now about smear campaigns as well. But it can also be during the relationship, you know, when they're trying to isolate you from everyone. They might say unpleasant things about you to your friends, for example, to keep that friend away from you. And usually it'll be complete and utter lies. And your friend will have been warned and think, oh God, well, he's or she's married to that person, or they're living together, so he or she must know something that I don't know. So they can start chipping away at your network, your personal network, behind your back, just by lying, by slandering you. Now, another thing they might do, I did mention financial abuse is huge. They might try to control every cent you earn. I've had people who I've been in touch with who were earning, and every single penny they earned was transferred directly into the narcissist bank account, and they had literally no access to their own money and were scraping by. Crazy. Lots of times you'll find as well they will have spent all your money. They might have you paying all the main bills, you know, the housing, utilities, whatever, and they're not contributing financially at all. You're bearing the brunt of it. And you might say, why would anyone do that? Believe me, it's happening all the time. Narcissists are so manipulative and clever at controlling people that they coerce them into doing it under the guise of any number of lies and untruths and false promises and what have you. Now, number 8 is another thing they'll do is they'll go into a rage. If you question anything they do, or you refuse them anything, and in this case, you know, we just talked about financial abuse. If they can't get their way, they can go into such a rage with you and make you feel so bad and so wrong about your choices that you cave and you give in. So you give them, you transfer all your money into their bank account, or you agree to whatever stupid demands they make, because you're deep down, you're afraid of them. You're too terrified to fight or argue back. So you think, well, you know, we're in this relationship together. What's mine is his, or what's mine is hers. But the fact is, when it comes to a narcissist, what's theirs is theirs, and what's yours is theirs. You have no right to anything of your own. That often includes your money. So if you question them about it, they're liable to go into a rage and browbeat you down into giving into whatever it is they've asked. Number 9 is that they'll often accuse you of cheating, when of course you haven't. It's not your thing, you don't cheat, but they will. They are usually cheating, and they will then accuse you of that, which we know, well, you may not know, but that's called projection. But they often do it just because they want to make you feel uncomfortable, because they want you to feel bad about yourself. Because who wants to be accused of cheating? Who does that, apart from a person who's just not very honest? Now, another thing they will do is ruin social gatherings for you. This is very, very common, because let's say it's your birthday and you've arranged to have, you know, a gathering with friends. Well, on your birthday, you're the birthday boy or the birthday girl, so you're the centre of the gathering. And they don't like that, because they have to be the centre of the gathering. This is just how narcissists are. So they will do whatever it takes to ruin the occasion for you. And I've lost count of the people who've said to me, you know, I dreaded any kind of a social event because I knew that my next was going to ruin it. And they will, because even if you go to a wedding, for example, where the bride and groom, of course, are the heroes of the day and they should take centre stage the whole way. A narcissist doesn't like that. They will do things like upstage the bride if they can, or they will create some kind of drama or fuss so that they take the attention away from the action because it's not on them. It's just crazy behaviour. Now, when it comes to social gatherings, they might, instead of going and ruining a social gathering, they might just refuse to go if it's a really important event for you. Maybe you have a promotion at work and your company is having a small +1 party to celebrate with you, and your your next refuses to go with you. Because if they can't be the center of attention, again, they're not going to let you be the center of attention, or they're going to let you down by not being there when they know it's an event where couples are all going. So they'll spoil it that way. Or they'll go with you, but they'll find some way to ruin it for you if they do go. Now, on the other side of the coin, conversely, they expect you to drop everything and go with them wherever they want, whenever they want. So if it's them, they're the center of the universe. You've got to be wildly excited to go with them, and you've got to drop everything, glamour yourself up or get dressed up to the nines, whatever, so that you can go and be looking good to decorate their arm. And that's regardless of whether you're a woman or a man or who your partner is. Another thing they do, 13, we've got 2 more to go. So 13 is they will insist that you have to do whatever they want, whenever they want it. So let's say you're talking about where to take a vacation together. Well, they'll have a very firm idea in mind, and you basically have to comply with that idea. Otherwise, the vacation isn't going to happen. Or maybe you guys decide to go out, you want to go out for a meal, and you're talking about restaurants. Maybe you really fancy Italian. You will never get to go to an Italian if they want to go to an Indian restaurant, or they want Chinese. Doesn't matter. They will get what they want, and they will pout and they will bitch and they will moan and do whatever it takes. They'll make you feel bad about it. They will tell you that you're selfish, that you never do what they want, which is a laughable twisting of the truth, but they do it. And you'll often give in just to keep the peace, okay? And then number 14 is they will, when they get to the nasty or desperate stage, they will threaten to leave you. If you have children, they'll threaten to prevent you from seeing your kids, and they'll even accuse you of abusing them and or the kids. And I hear this shit happening all the time from people in my groups, and it's absolutely appalling, but it's happening all the time. They're making up lies, putting out false protection orders, and even accusing the parents of abusing the kids. It's so wrong. This is the type of thing they do. Now, that's, as I said, it's a short list, but it just gives you an idea. I could go on and on. And you probably know, if you're in a relationship right now yourself, you already know everything I'm saying is true and then some. So the question now is, how do you break free of this type of abuse? So I want to share 5 tips to help you. And I've shared these tips, or very similar tips, in my videos before. So if you've heard them before, forgive me for repeating, but even if you have and you haven't really internalized them, then it's a good idea to just refresh your memory on these. But if you're brand new, then great, these tips are for you. So the first thing that you need to do is to learn as much as you can about NPD and narcissistic abuse. And you really need to open your eyes and wake up to what you are really dealing with, because it is very dangerous. It's very, very toxic, okay? Now, the second thing that's really important for you to realize is that you cannot change or fix a narcissist. I've actually done a whole video about that very thing, can you fix a narcissist, quite recently, so that's here on my channel as well. You might want to check that out. Basically, the narcissists do not want to be changed, no matter how many times they might tell you that they do, or that they will change. The truth is, they simply will not, and you cannot make that happen, okay? You have to understand and accept that. Now, thirdly, and sometimes I think in the past I've put this as number 1, so these 4 tips are not in any particular order, they are all really, really important. So the third one is that you need to understand that it's not your fault and you're not to blame. You are not an inferior, flawed person. You just had the misfortune to be targeted by a narcissist. And there are many, many reasons why that might have happened. And I will be covering those in a video coming up very soon. Now, fourthly, and this is one that you may be a little bit surprised with, but just be open on this. But fourthly is that you need to own up to your own part in this tragic play, you know, this Shakespearean tragedy that's become a part of your life. Because you need to take responsibility for the part that you're playing. And that part, it's basically you. And you are enabling the narcissist to continue abusing you. And it's up to you to stop it. So I am not saying it's your fault, you're to blame. Absolutely no, it's not, and you're not. And as I said, there are a bunch of reasons why you are in this position and you've attracted a narcissist. But if you're watching this video now, you know something is wrong. You do not want to go on suffering like this. That is where it comes in, that it's your choice now to take responsibility and to get out, to do something to start healing yourself. So you can't change the past. You can't fix what's going on out there, but you can change what happens to you now and what happens to you going forward, because you have the choice. It's that simple. It is up to you to put a stop to it. So if you're ready for that, what I always say is, apart from all the learning, is join a support group so that you're going to get, you know, some help to know that you're not alone, that other people have done it. If they've done it, you can do it. And I see stories again and again and again and again, very, very similar stuff going on for so many people. They can break out, so can you. Then I also recommend getting professional help and support to break the cycle of abuse, to understand why you attracted this person into your life in the first place, and do the inner work of healing, work that will completely free you from the pain and ensure that you never fall into this trap again of attracting another narcissist, whether it's a narcissistic lover, husband, wife, friend, work colleague, whatever. So I've said it before, I'll say it again, there are things you can do, and you don't have to keep on being a victim. So it always comes to you deciding that enough is enough, and that you cannot take one more day of this mental torture. Then you're ready to start making the changes. And then that's when you need to start reaching out and getting the help that you need. Okay. Now, in my next video, I am going to talk about another issue that I hear people often talking about. And that is, was I stupid to fall for a narcissist? Now, I know this one has kept people up all night because they're blaming themselves. They're blaming themselves for having this narcissist in their life. So if that's you, then definitely check out my next video, because I'm going to clear up some very important issues around that for you that might help you to think more clearly, okay? So thank you very much for joining me, and I will put that video up next, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.